It is vital that all parties in any on-road training situation understand and are clear about where the responsibilities lies for the safety of themselves, others in the vehicle and other road users. At all times, the ADI is responsible for their safety, the safety of the pupil and the safety of other road users. In particular circumstances, this can extend to taking physical control of the vehicle to manage a safety critical incident. If the ADI fails in this basic responsibility at any time, they will fail the standards check. Did the trainer ensure that the pupil fully understood how the responsibility for risk would be shared? The balance of responsibility between the pupil and the ADI will vary in different circumstances. For example, compare the following two scenarios. Listen to this risk statement for a pupil in the early stages of driving. At all times, I expect you to drive as carefully and responsibly as possible. I will expect you to be aware of other road users and to control the car. However, I do have the ability to take control of the car in an emergency. I will only use these controls if I feel that you are not dealing with a situation yourself. If that happens, we will take some time to talk about what happened so that you can understand for the next time. Now listen to this next risk statement. Imagine this pupil has passed their driving test, but has asked for additional training in their own car. In this situation, an ADI might give a risk statement such as this. You have passed your test, so I therefore assume that you are taking full responsibility for our safety. I will be talking from time to time, but I will try to keep this to a minimum so I don't distract you. If I am quiet, don't worry. That just means that I am comfortable with you and what you are doing. I will, of course, let you know if any risk that you appear to have missed. However, such opening statements are not all that is involved when meeting this criteria and this competence. As an ADI, you should manage the risk throughout the lesson. For example, if a pupil goes to pull out on a roundabout and you have to dual brake them because there's a car coming from the right, you should pull up at the earliest opportunity to talk about this safety critical incident. You should analyse the fault with the pupil. You should try and get the pupil to problem solve themselves. Once the pupil understands where they have gone wrong, you should give them the opportunity to practice again. This is where, as an ADI, you should find out who's taking responsibility for what. Here's an example. Okay, Jasmine, I understand that you want to take responsibility for the mirrors, the signal and the position on the approach to the next 4 roundabouts. Because of that, I will stay silent on that part of the procedure. When it comes down to looking and judging a gap, I will talk you through so you can achieve your new goal. So you're taking responsibility for the mirror, signal position and your gear, and I will help you by guiding you through when there's a gap. After we have done these 4 roundabouts, we'll pull over again and we'll find out if you want to take any more responsibility for finding the gap at roundabouts. Before we move away, I'll just let you know again, I have got dual pedals, so I got a dual clutch and a brake, or I can move your steering wheel. So be absolutely confident that you're safe at all times. Other than that, I'm going to let you take responsibility for the mirror, signal and position, and I'm going to help you with finding a gap. Your pupil now knows how the responsibility for risk will be shared. There are also other things you can bring in to help the pupil understand about risk. Asking the pupil what is meant by risk. Asking the pupil what sort of issues create risk, such as the use of alcohol or drugs. Explaining clearly what is expected of the pupil and what the pupil can reasonably expect of you. Indications that you're not meeting this competence on a lesson might be failing to address the issue of risk management, giving incorrect guidance on risk management, failing to explain how the dual controls will be used during the lesson, undermining the pupil's commitment to being safe and responsible, e.g. by agreeing with risky attitudes to alcohol, asking the pupil to repeat an exercise without making sure that they understand what your role is,